get... There was a fly. Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's your girl Ashley. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be my very first fall look of 2018. I know I'm filming this look a little bit early. The first official day of fall isn't until September the 22nd, but let's be real. I was impatient, I couldn't wait, and I really wanted to play with emeralds and warm tone browns. So that's exactly what you guys are gonna get in today's video. If you guys love this video and you guys like me, of course, which I'm sure you do, then be sure to press that subscribe button, and also don't forget to turn on that bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 3 times a week, every single week. And without further ado guys, let's go ahead and hop into this makeup tutorial. So you guys, we're just gonna go ahead and hop right into it today. I'm gonna start off with my eyes just because I feel like I'm gonna go a little bit heavy-handed, so I may get some fallout. So in order to prevent my fallout from falling on my base, I am going to start off with the eyes. Now I will be using palettes from Bad Habit. Now if you guys are familiar, or if you're not familiar with my channel, you may or may not know that I have featured Bad Habit palettes all over my channel. And pretty much Bad Habit can be purchased exclusively over on shophush.com. I have like the Retro Love, the Aura, and then I also have the Solstice palette right here. I have a mixture of palettes in front of me because I know I want to create something that's very fall-esque. So the first palette I think I want to use is this one. This is the Aura palette by Bad Habit. Actually, I'm going to start off with the Solstice palette. So when you look at the Solstice palette, you're going to see a ton of warm tone shadows. I have used this on my channel before. This palette is right up my alley. It's super beautiful. It's very, very rich with warm tones, which is something I like. So I'm going to prime my eyelids before we jump into that. I'm going to use this by Flower Beauty. This is actually the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. I used this in a video recently and I was so impressed by the coverage, so I am just going to use it to prime my eyelids. I really haven't heard anyone speak of this, and I have no idea why, because it's amazing, and it's fairly inexpensive in the drugstore. It's by Flower Beauty, by the way. I'm going to take this brush by It Cosmetics, and I'm just going to pat the concealer all over my eyelids. I kind of got a little heavy-handed, so definitely use this concealer sparingly because a little bit goes a very long way. And immediately you can see just how full coverage that concealer was. If you guys struggle with discoloration or veinage or anything like that on your eyelids, I always recommend going in with a full coverage either primer or concealer because it's really going to mute out the lids and give you a nice even canvas to lay shadow on top of. I'm going to move on to shadow. I am going to pick up my Morphe M441. Now I recently did a video all about the brushes I love to use for blending my eyeshadow. If you guys haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out. I go in depth as to why each brush is my favorite, and I do a little eyeshadow demo at the same time. So I think you guys are really, really gonna like that. I'm gonna go in with the Solstice palette by Bad Habit, and I'm gonna pick up this shade right here called Equinox, and I'm gonna rock this right here into the socket of my eye. I'm gonna start on the outer V like so, and then I'm just gonna kind of pat it and stamp it right here into the crease. These shadows do go on sheer at first, but the more you build them up, you are able to see the full intensity of each eyeshadow. And I also like that, you know, Bad Habit palettes are fairly affordable and inexpensive. Granted, you can't get them at the drugstore. I wish you could, but they are very much worth every single penny. Now that I have this color right here in the crease and also in my outer V, I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna use a Morphe M514, which is more of a smaller blending brush. I really love to use this brush right here in the outer V to really just intensify things. And since it is a little bit smaller, I'm able to just rock it in my socket without taking it above this color right here. I am using the same shade, Equinox, but I'm building it up in a concentrated way so that way it looks a little bit deeper. Once you've blended away all the shadow and there's no additional product on the brush, what you want to do is take the brush right here in the very inner corner and just blend. So that way that space isn't completely bare. We want some shadow there, but we don't want it to be too intense, which is why you want to wait until the majority of the product has already left your brush. Now, if you feel like you lose a little bit of color in the process, you can easily just go back into that shade. I'm going to take it on that Morphe M514 and just re-intensify it a little bit. Like so. The next shade I'm going to take in the palette is this one right here called Earth. Oh my god, this is such a beautiful earthy tone brown eyeshadow. But I'm going to take it on a Morphe M507, and what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to place it right here on the outer portion, and I'm also going to place it right here on the very inner corner of the lid, like so. And I'm using this brush just because it is a little bit smaller, so I'm able to really place the color and pack it in a precise way. This brush in general is just really, really awesome for precision blending. So I'm just going to take it and really just build the shadow up on the outer and inner corner of the lid. This color is just slightly deeper than that of the Equinox shade, so it's not really going to make a huge difference, but I like to build colors. I feel when I work my way up to a really deep color, everything just blends together really nicely. So that is a little helpful tip if you guys are having trouble blending your eyeshadows. Just start with a light shade and then work your way up to the deepest shade. And trust me when I tell you, your eyeshadow look will look insanely beautiful. Whatever's left on my brush, I'm just running it right here into the socket of my eye. And as you can see, I'm not wiping it like this. I'm going in small circular motions right in my socket. I find that that really gets the color placed exactly where I want it. After placing that deeper shade in the inner and the outer corner, I'm just gonna go right back in and blend. Oftentimes whenever like I'm editing videos, I feel like you guys really don't see how often I go in with my Morphe M433. I feel like it's very important. So anytime I go in with an additional color, I always make sure to go back into this brush right here and blend. Blending is so important, like extremely so. Do not neglect the blend. Okay, so things are looking really warm. I definitely want to change up the pace a little bit, and I want to go in with more of a deeper kind of like chocolatey brown. So I'm gonna pick up the shade right here in the Solstice palette, and this one is called Dust. As you can see, she is very much a deeper chocolatey brown. I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush, which is a Morphe M321, and I'm gonna take this shade and I'm gonna pop it right here again in the inner and the outer corner because I want to deepen this up a little bit more. I do want to note one of the main reasons I switch over to using a pencil brush versus my little fluffy precision blending brush right here, the Morphe M507, is because I really want to place this brown right here in the very inner corner, and I don't necessarily want to blend it out as of right now because I am going to go in with my lid color, which is going to be a pop of color in this fall makeup look. And once I have that color placed, that's when I'll go in and start blending. So I really want to place it very precisely at first, and then I'll worry about blending it later. I'm gonna pick up the shade called Eclipse. It is a little bit deeper than that of Dusk in the palette. And again, I'm just gonna kind of place it right here on the outer V. As you guys can see, the shadow definitely has a lot of fallout to it, so that is why I decided to work on my eyes first, just because I felt like I was gonna be working with a lot of colors, so I definitely didn't wanna take any risks. So it doesn't need to be perfect at this point. Like I said, I am going to go in and kind of just like blend a little bit later. I'm just going to sweep away this fallout right here, just so that way I don't continue to look crazy. I'm gonna switch over to using the Bad Habit Aura palette right here, y'all. This palette is insanely beautiful. It's a dupe for the ABH Prism palette, and the shade I'm gonna use is called Ecstasy. This one literally epitome of fall. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to use her in a look, so that's why I'm using her today. The brush I'm going to use for this shade is my MAC 242 brush. As you can see, I have a little bit of the product on my brush already. What I always do whenever I'm working with shimmer shadows is spray my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus. Excuse me, this is new. And the reason I do that is because Fix Plus does have glycerin in it, so it really allows the shadow to lay super smooth on the eyelid. So that is why I spray my brush with Fix Plus. You definitely don't have to. It's not necessary, but I just love the end result, so that's why I do it. I'm going to put my finger right here, and I'm not going to tug on my eye. I'm gonna pull her just a little taut, and I'm gonna pop on this shade right here all over my lid, and immediately you can just see how beautiful this shadow lays on the lid. Look at the pigmentation on that shadow. Like, I can't even get over how amazing Bad Habit formulates their shimmer shades. It's unreal. And I'm just simply applying this all over the lid, and I'm not taking it above the crease at all. And I'm gonna try to blend it into this really dark brown shade, but I'm not going to completely cover it. What I'm doing here is I'm working my brush from inner to outer corner, and I'm making sure that this color really covers the entire lid area. And again, I am placing the color super close to the inner corner, but I'm leaving a little bit of that brown to peek through. As you can see, that shade called Ecstasy is extremely beautiful. Like, I am obsessed with the shade. This look is definitely calling for a makeup wipe, so I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup because things are looking a little out of control. So I need to get my life together because, honey, this is not a cute look at all. Like, I don't even want to know what my face would look like if I did my base first. Horrendous. Going right back into the shade right here called Eclipse, I'm going to take it on my Morphe M321 and I'm going to pop her right here. Like I said, I do kind of want to deepen up the very inner and outer corner. I'm just going to pop this color directly over top of that Ecstasy tealish blue. Honestly, I can't even describe it. Like, it's not teal. Definitely not teal. It's definitely more of like a hunter green. I'm just taking this brown and I'm popping it right here next to the green to create some kind of dimension. I feel like if I was to put that green all over the lid, it would just be very flat and not dimensional. So if you look at this eye compared to this eye, you can see that brown is creating a little bit of dimension. And the key to doing this is to make sure the brown really melts into the green. You almost want it to be undetectable. So once you blend the brown into the green, definitely go back in with a little bit more to seal everything together. Now that that color is placed, I'm gonna go in with my little precision pencil blending brush and really just work this brown into that green. And I'm also going in small circular motions right here towards the outer V. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pick up my M507 and use a little bit of the shade called Earth, and I'm going to pop it right here in the outer socket and also a little bit in the crease. One thing you wanna do is make sure you really deepen up this crease area, just so that way the green really melts in with this really beautiful warm tone brown. A trick I like to do whenever doing this method is to make sure my eyes are extremely lifted. So I'll open them really wide, just so that way the green doesn't mix in with my crease color, because then you'll have a mess. You'll have a disaster. And trust me, I know from experience. Open your eyes wide and really just pack on the color. If there's one thing I wouldn't be too concerned about, is getting this warm tone brown too much onto the green, because we can always touch that up a little bit later. You really want to be concerned when the green mixes onto the warm tone brown, because that's extremely hard to fix. So just be careful. All right, so once you have that color packed on, I definitely recommend going in and blending some of this out a little bit, because she looks very crazy at this point. So blending always helps fix the problem. I'm just adding a little bit more of the shade called Eclipse to this look, just because I want to create some depth right here in the crease where the green meets the crease and then gradiates from the warm brown. To really help with blending, I'm gonna go in with the shade right here called Dream State from the Aura palette, which is a really pretty kind of like beige shade, and I'm gonna pop it right here on my brow bone with my Morphe M421, and this is really just going to ensure that everything blends together very nicely. Then with my Sigma E57, I'm just gonna kind of pat it and blend it together with my transitional shade. All right, so I definitely lost a little bit of that green in the process, so I'm gonna go right back into my MAC 242, pick up the shade called Ecstasy, and reapply so that way it's nice and vibrant on the lid. So it should look a little something like this. I'm gonna go in with a makeup wipe, the one I've been using this entire time, and I'm just gonna kind of clean up right here on this outer edge, like so. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from the eyes and I'm gonna move on to the rest of the face. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Lock On Face Primer. This is actually new, so I want to give her a try and see how I like her. So she does look more like, ooh, this is a really thick primer. Like, she is thick and she is super sticky. Oh my gosh. Wow. Almost feels like I'm putting glue on my face. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. That is interesting. Like, my face is so tacky right now. Honestly, you guys, this makes me feel as if my foundation is really going to stick onto it and it is not gonna go anywhere throughout the day. While it is really sticky, I don't really like that feeling on my face, but Hopefully it goes away once I put my foundation on and stuff. But she's tacky, honey. She is tacky. The affordable foundation I'm going to be using today is, you guys guessed it, my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I am in the shade 220 Natural Beige. I freaking love this foundation. I don't think I can rave about it enough on my channel. Like, it is literally the perfect foundation for me. It's not necessarily a matte foundation. I find it to be more satin than anything. I'm going to use this Morphe sponge to put it on, and I'm going to spray her with some Fix Plus because that's just what I do, and I'm going to pop her on the skin. You also want to make sure you get the foundation right here in the crevices of your nose. There really isn't a drugstore foundation that is comparable to this to me. Like, I just love this foundation that much. Now that my face is looking extra flawless, I'm gonna move on to concealer. I am gonna use the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer by Flower Beauty, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys expected that just because I have been raving about her. She's extremely full coverage. A little bit of this stuff does go a very long way, and since I don't wanna completely alter the color of my foundation, I'm only gonna apply a little bit, and I'm gonna buff and blend it out with my Morphe sponge. Now, as you can see, it just instantly brightens underneath the eyes. And whatever's left over on the sponge, I'm going to pop it on my Cupid's bow, my chin, and also my forehead to highlight in a subtle way. Powder I'm going to use to set my under eyes is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. I am using the shade 10. It's important to note that this isn't a translucent powder. It is a colored powder, which is why I am using a little bit more of a lighter shade to really just set this concealer in place so that way it doesn't move at all. And fun fact, this is one affordable loose powder, so if you guys are interested in checking it out, I definitely recommend. I'm also going to take this powder right here alongside my nose to just pinch her and make her look a little smaller, just like that. And I'm going to take some of the powder, put it on my chin, Cupid's bow, and my forehead. For face powder, I'm going to use this one by Milani. This is their Shine Proof powder in the shade 04 Natural, and I'm just going to take it on this e.l.f. brush right here to powder down the rest of my face. What I like to do is I like to really just pat the powder into the skin, and once all the powder is packed into the skin, I will pick up a little bit more and go in big circular motions. This gives me the maximum amount of coverage. Also going to powder down my nose and remove a little bit of that bake by just sweeping it out from underneath the eye. I'm now gonna move back to the eyes and just finish them off. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Equinox and also Earth mixed together from the Solstice palette right here by Bad Habit. And I'm gonna work this on my lower lash line with an E15 Sigma brush. And I'm really just going to push the shadow closest to the lash line, just like that. And once I have the product placed here, I'm gonna go in with an M321, pick up a little bit of Equinox, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blow this out. And if you get any fallout, you just wanna make sure you sweep her away, so that way she doesn't ruin the base. This look definitely calls for liner, so I'm gonna use this one by Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner in the shade Blackest Black. Honestly, it is the blackest drugstore liner I have ever come across, and I love her. She's extremely creamy, which I like. I'm gonna take her on a MAC 210, and I'm gonna create an intense cat eye wing. For mascara, I'm going to use this one by Rimmel. This is the Wonderfully Real Mascara with Keratin. Ooh. I never tried this, so I'm going to give her a go and just kind of coat my lashes so that way they're nice and black before I apply falsies. You guys already saw that coming. Dramatic looks call for dramatic lashes. I'm also going to take this mascara and coat my lower lashes as well. So I do have some mascara specks chilling right here underneath my eye, but the trick to getting rid of it is making sure that the mascara is completely dry, and then you just go in with a clean spoolie and just scrape her off. So I'm going to wait. Don't mind the dots. I'm gonna pop on lashes. The lashes I'm gonna be using today are these by Kiss. These are the Lash Couture Faux Mink eyelashes in the shade Midnight. If you guys haven't tried this line of lashes from Kiss, definitely recommend. They have some really, really beautiful, fluffy, just pillowy eyelashes that you'll want on your eyeballs. So go check them out. Go. Trust me. You will not regret it. I also recommend their lash glue. This is lash glue I use in every single one of my videos. This is their Lash Couture strip eyelash adhesive, and this is the dark version. Just because I do have black eyeliner, I can get away with using a dark duo adhesive. Duo adhesive? No, dark adhesive. While I wait for the lash glue to dry, I'm just gonna kind of push them up a little bit, so that way they don't like droop down. We really want them to sit up, lifted, and pretty. So the more and more I look at this look, the more I realize that it needs some kind of pop. So I am going to go in with this Lasting Drama Liner by Maybelline. This one is in the shade Glossy Emeralds, and I think it will complement the look really, really nicely. So we're going to pop her on. The last thing I'm going to do to finish off the look is I'm going to go into the Aura palette, and I'm going to pick up this icy white shade called Phenomenon, and I'm going to pop it in the very inner corner to act as my highlight shade. The eyes are done. I'm now going to work on the rest of my face. I'm going to use this powder contour palette by Koki, and it's very much comparable to the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. So if you guys want something very, very similar, definitely recommend this guy right here. I'm going to use my MAC 135 brush, and I'm going to pick up these two shades right here. So this one and this one. This one's a little bit cooler, whereas this one is a little bit more warm. Just going to mix the two together and use this to bronze. So I'm going to go in big circular motions. I'm going to use an M530 brush, and I'm going to pick up the warmest shade in that palette, and I'm going to chisel out my cheekbones right here. Just like that. With a little bit of my Maybelline powder, I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup right underneath that bronzer. For blush, I'm going to use this palette right here by BH Cosmetics. This is their Nude Blush 10 color blush palette. Look how many beautiful blush shades are in here. Like, they are stunning. If you're a freelance makeup artist, I definitely recommend picking this up. Even if you're not a freelance makeup artist, like, there's so many different shades in here that you can experiment with, and they're all like, oh, buttery, creamy, buildable. So the shade that I'm going to take is this one right here, which is a little bit more of a peachy tone shade, and I'm going to pop it on with my Smashbox sheer powder blush brush, and just going to go ahead and apply some blush to the cheeks. I'm just going to use my e.l.f. brush to dust away all of the bake underneath my contour. And we're going to move on to highlighter. I will be using the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter in the shade Molten Gold. And I'm going to use this brush right here by Laura Mercier. They did send this to me in PR. And what I love about it is the shape. It just hugs the cheek so nicely. And you guys know I've really been into more of a diffuse highlight, so I feel like this is going to work really, really awesome with this highlighter. So I'm going to tap off, and I'm just going to kind of highlight the cheek just like this. Honey, I like that. This brush literally just hugs the cheek so nicely. She is beautiful. I'm going to pick up a little bit more on an M510 brush. Pop her right here. Also going to highlight the tip of my nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. For lips, I will be using a liquid lipstick by Bad Habit. They recently launched these not too long ago. I want to say it was maybe like a month or two. And this one is in the shade Broken Heart. I'm going to take this and pop it all over my lips. And to finish everything off, I'm going to use a little bit of my MAC Fix Plus. And a little bit of my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Whoo! And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I think the emerald green just screams fall. Like, it literally screams fall. I know you guys are probably waiting to the very end of the video because I do have a special giveaway for you guys. I will be giving away 2 eyeshadow palettes in the video. I did use the Aura palette and also the Solstice palette by Bad Habit. And since I used 2 palettes, I felt a little bit bad. So I'm going to give away the palettes I use in this video so that way you guys can recreate this look at home. How you like that? So if you guys want to learn how to enter, definitely check out the description box down below. I have all the rules to enter, and follow me over on the gram because I do a lot of mystery makeup box giveaways. You're just gonna have to follow me over on Instagram to figure out how to win. No, I'm just kidding. I'll have everything listed down below if you guys are interested in those mystery makeup boxes. And don't forget to subscribe. I upload 3 new videos every single week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9 a.m. And you guys don't want to miss out on them. Just saying, you really don't, because they're hot fire over here. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. You made it to the outro of the outro. Are you guys excited to win these palettes? Yay, nay? If you guys are excited, don't forget to press the subscribe button by clicking right over here and thumbs this video up. Honestly, it really helps me out. It literally takes like 2.5 seconds. And if you guys like this video, also don't forget to check out some of my other videos right over here. They're hot freaking fire. And I'm not even boosting it up. Like, just watch to find out. And with that, I love you, and I'm gonna go. Bye.